Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick video for you guys today. This is my 2005 Impala with the 3400. The other day the wife was driving it home from work, and or from her parents actually, which are only a few miles down the road, and she called me about a mile away from home and said, hey, the car's overheating, come get me. And so I went out there and I looked at it and it didn't look too serious, so I drove it the rest of the way home. And when I opened the hood, it was pretty clear that the water pump had gone out. You could see the wet spot here. You could see that everything in this area was wet. And so I determined that the water pump was out, and I could actually see coolant dripping out of it. And so that was a pretty good indicator as well. But so I put a new water pump on. I was going to make a video of that, but it was a super simple process. All you got to do is take 4 bolts out on the pulley, and then the water pump itself isn't this whole assembly. All you replace is this piece right here. It's got 5 bolts in it. Super easy fix. And so I'm sure there's already all kinds of videos out there of it, so I didn't feel like making a video on that. But what I'm going to make my video on today is something important that a lot of people won't think of when they're making a fix like this. And I missed it the first time too, and I'm technically a mechanic. So what I did is I put the new water pump in, I filled it up with coolant, and I said, all right, let's get it running. And so I started it up and it got hot again. And I said, well, what the heck? Why is the car getting hot when I just put a new water pump in it? And so my first thought was, well, the temp sender maybe got fried. And so I took my temp gun and I shot it at the temp sender, which is located right there. And it was reading just what the gauge was reading. And so I knew that wasn't the case. I thought, well, maybe it's the thermostat. Well, the thermostat sits down right under where that temp sender is at, and it doesn't look like it's fun to get to. And so I was just gonna leave it for now. We're moving into the new place in a month or so, less than a month hopefully, and that's got a shop. So I figured if I gotta tear all this stuff off, I'd rather do it in a shop than in my driveway. And so anyways, I went to work today and I asked one of the guys at work, I said, here's what's going on. I said, what's your thought? And he asked me if I burped it. And I said, well, I said, no, I guess I didn't. I just assumed that it was full. And so he said, well, when you get home tonight, he said, go ahead and burp it. And you can see right now it's actually burping a little bit. So what you do is you start the vehicle and you want your radiator to be your highest point. If you've got a radiator cap, you can do this. I don't know if you can do it if you've only got overflow tank or a filler tank. But so I drove it up on car ramps. If you have a hill in your yard, you could drive it up on a hill as well. But you want your radiator to be your highest point. So you just run it, and what'll happen is air will actually push out of there. See, what happened was my engine got full of air and the coolant wasn't actually getting in there. And so all it was doing was steaming up, and that's why it was getting so hot. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just allowing it to burp out, and it makes a mess. As you can see there, I got coolant running out, and so I'll have to probably hose this part of the car down. But it burps it out and it gets all that air out of there. And as it's burping out, then you add more coolant. And I've probably been doing it long enough now to where I'm guessing I can put my cap back on and let my system pressurize. But it's very important that you do that. I ended up putting way more coolant in than I thought I was going to. And that just goes to show that there was that little in there to begin with. And so I just saved myself a whole bunch of work by making sure that I burp my system and let that air out of there instead of going straight to the thermostat. And then I see a lot of stuff online. A lot of people say that these cars are bad with head gaskets, where the head gasket will go out. And so I checked my oil. My oil looked clean. I'm not getting any white smoke out of my exhaust, so I kind of ruled that out. But that is something to keep in mind with these cars as well. But that's just my quick lesson for today. Is always make sure you burp your vehicle whenever you're doing anything with coolant. If you flush the coolant, whatever it may be, because it would have really sucked if I had done this and then gone down the road a little ways and that happened and then I didn't have any way to do it on the side of the road. So always burp your baby. And that's all I got for you guys today. So please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.